Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today is somebody that is awesome. They took part in my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Black History Month collab that is going to be coming out soon, and that is Madburnish.cos. Madburnish, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Really happy to be here.
Hey, I'm happy that you're here too. It's going to be a fun time. Thank you so much for joining me.
All right, let's get into it. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. I was expecting you to say something. And I was just like, it was like pause. But thank you so much for joining me, though. I'm excited to get into this interview. We're celebrating Black History Month here on the channel, and I'm interviewing some amazing, talented Black cosplayers. Like I said, Madburnish, they took part in my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure collab that's coming out, where it's just a bunch of amazing Black JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplayers, which is something that I don't know about you, Madburnish, but like, have you ever seen something like this before on Instagram?
I've never seen anything like this before with JoJo's Bizarre Adventures specifically. I've seen like a lot of Black cosplayer collabs, but I've never seen one specifically for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I was super excited to take part in this. I'm just like, dang, I didn't even know there were that many Black people who are into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Whoa!
I know, right? And it's just an awesome time. And I'm happy that, I came up with this idea. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I always see collabs. And like, I've been a part of some collabs too. But I was just like, Black History Month's coming up. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one of my favorite animes. I talk about it. I have so many JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplayers that come up here on the channel. And I was like, you know what? Let's do this for Black History Month. And I was just so happy to, have met so many Black cosplayers who love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, who have amazing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure when we get into this interview. But before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into today's interview. So Madburnish, the first question that I ask each and every guest up here on Who's That Cosplayer is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Okay, so I'm Madburnish.cos, Kayla, and I originally started in the cartoon community. I always grew up with a love for animation and anime. I think I saw Sonic X on 4Kids Saturday morning cartoons one day, and it just like a switch flipped in my brain, and I was like, I want to go to there. So I did YouTube for a while where I did cartoon analysis and stuff, and I've always wanted to cosplay. I've always had an interest in cosplay, but when you are a child in rural Florida with parents that don't really understand the concept of cosplay, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
So when I moved out and started going to college, I bought a black wig with bangs and did my Tomie cosplay. And I'll be real, it was doo-doo cheeks. I had no clue. I slapped a wig on my head, I put a mole on my cheek, and I called it a day. But I started connecting with more cosplayers, learning the art of like wig styling, costume making, taking photos, all that fun stuff. And I just like went in full force, and I love it. Cosplay has done so much for me. It's helped my self-esteem. It's helped me meet so many friends. I'm able to incorporate all of my creative skills that I have into one hobby, and it's always so fulfilling to get a full costume together, go to cons, see friends, even just be in my room dressing up and filming videos. So yeah, that's my origin story.
Hey, and that was a really awesome origin story. Did you ever think that you would become a cosplayer?
Not necessarily. I knew that I wanted to do something in the realm of the blurred space because I didn't have anyone like me to look up to when I was growing up. I remember the first time I saw a Black person that liked anime was at this tiny anime store in our local mall, and he was working at the counter, and I saw him drawing in his sketchbook, and I look over and I'm like, that's Naruto. You know what Naruto is? And that was when I was 14. So all these years, I always felt like I was an anomaly, and there wasn't a single person that had the same struggles that I did that looked like me, that was into these things. So I always knew at the end of the day, I would want to be a role model and be in a place where I can encourage other young Black kids to pursue their interests, even if they don't fall into the stereotypes that are placed on us.
Yeah. I think that that's really awesome because I feel like growing up, you really didn't see a lot of Black people that were into anime. Because like growing up, for me, like I was considered a nerd because I like playing Legend of Zelda or watching anime. It's like if you weren't watching BET and ESPN, you were a nerd. And it felt good when I actually got to high school and like I met other black fans of anime and video games, and I was just like, man, like there's other people here that are like me. And just to see how different it is now, where it's just like, you could be black and you can cosplay and you can have such a fun time. Like when I was younger, I didn't see black cosplayers. And to piggyback off of what you were saying about like, being a role model to younger black people that see black cosplayers doing the thing that they love, and like, wow, like, if Madburnish could do this, then I can do this too. If Benjamin Banks can do this, then I can do this too. So I want to ask you now, has there been a moment in your cosplay journey where you have inspired somebody to want to get into cosplaying?
So when I was doing my Disney college program, I had been like growing on TikTok really fast, and I wasn't expecting anyone to notice me from TikTok, but my name is Kayla and my name is on my name tag at Disney. You have to wear name tags.
Yeah.
And I saw like this kid like trying to pull their parent over to me, and they come up and I'm like, oh, they probably want me to get a plush from high up, and the mom was like, my daughter follows you on TikTok and she wanted to go to this convention. I think they were from Virginia, and she's nervous because she doesn't like the other cosplayers. And she's like, why don't you tell her how you do it? And I was like, sure. And I gave her some tips, and I was like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do what you want to do because of your skin color, because cosplay is for everyone. I was like, you're going to kill it. You're going to go there and have fun. And like a few weeks later, because I had exchanged numbers with the mom, she like sent me pictures of her and her daughter at the con having the time of their life. And that was such an amazing experience for me. Awesome. Like I went backstage and I took a deep breath. I'm like, that's what I do. This is why I do what I do. I never want another Black kid to grow up feeling like they're inadequate or they can't do what they love because they don't see themselves represented in their hobbies.
I love that. And now, because your boy, he's from Virginia. Now I got to ask you, was it NecoCon?
Maybe. I don't know. It was around, I think that was around October, November-ish time.
Yeah, it was NecoCon then. That's awesome. See, like that's what I love about cosplay, man, because it's just like we're all connected under like one giant umbrella. Like you talk to that mom and that kid and they were doing something in Virginia and I'm from Virginia. So it's just like we're all just connected like that. I don't know.
It's a small world.
But so now I want to ask you, like, because you told her, don't ever let anybody, tell you that you can't cosplay this person because of your skin color. Has there ever been a time where like somebody told you that, and when they did, like, how did you clap back from what that person told you and was just like, you know what, I'm going to do this because I love this character and what you said isn't going to hurt me?
Oh, I get that all the time. I love it when people are just like, that character isn't Black. That character doesn't have curly hair. And I'm just like, I know. I'm aware. Like, what? That character isn't Black? Oh my, wow. I must have been watching a different show. I never would have known that Misa from Death Note wasn't Black. She was saying the N-word the whole time. Like, people come to me and ask me these things like I'm not aware, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? I can't change my skin tone, and I'm not going to stop cosplaying just because you don't like it. Yeah. So usually when they hit me with that, I'm just like, I know. And with the shrugging emoji, I'm like, I know.
I love that. I always say, yeah, I know they're a fictional character. Of course they're not Black. Like, I mean, like, so it's...
I always hit them with and they're not real either.
Yeah, they're not real people. Like, what's wrong with you, guy? And I was telling one of my friends this recently. It's just the people that always have something to say about, that character's not Black. Their profiles are private. They don't have any pictures of themselves for their profile picture. It's always an anime character. And I'm just like, your opinion doesn't matter.
I told you the K-On profile pictures and the Genshin profile pictures are always so out of pocket.
They are, man. So, now I want to ask you a cosplay question. Now, this is for me personally, because like I really love your cat cosplay from Wendell and Wild. and it is the first cat cosplay that I've ever seen. So when I saw it, I was like, yo, that cosplay is super awesome. So I want to know, give me your top 3. Which are your favorite cosplays that you've done so far?
Number 1 is always going to be Nessa. I could do 100 cosplays and Nessa will always be my number 1. She's my baby girl. She's my cinnamon apple. I love Nessa. Number 2 would definitely be Kat. I had a lot of fun making those afro puffs. Each of them are 2 afro wigs combined, just so I can make them as massive as possible. And I really resonated with the character. I really resonated with the movie. And I know around the time it came out, it was around the time people were bringing up that Tim Burton had said some really insensitive things about Black people not fitting their aesthetic. And these people proved him wrong.
Yes.
These people proved him wrong. And then my 3rd favorite cosplay, that's a toughie. I'd say it's a tie between Angie from Danganronpa and my Gyadu Gengar onesie cosplay, both because they incorporate Gyadu fashion and Gyadu makeup, and I am super into J fashion, and I love incorporating my other interests and other aspects of myself into my cosplay. Because canonically, Angie isn't Gyadu, but I saw her outfit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that would make such a cute Gyadu outfit. So I did the makeup, and I'm just adding on more accessories to it until I'm just like drowning in them like a true Gyadu.
That's awesome, man. And I love your top 3 picks, man. And that's why I always love asking that question, because when you cosplay, there's so many costumes that you've done. And what I always expect is going to be the top 3. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is like when I think in my head, like what you're going to say. But then when I get different answers, I'm just like, I'm glad that they were different answers. But even if they were what I thought they were going to be, it's fine, you know?
Or did mine line up with any of yours?
So definitely Kat. Kat was definitely one of them. And then the other one that I really loved was your Chocolita. I really love that one. That's one of my favorite villains from part 5.
I hate to admit how much I love him. He's so cool. He's so evil, but he's so cool. I'd let him commit medical malpractice on me any day.
Who's that cosplayer?
Funny Haunting, what's up?
It's Valentine's Day, baby.
I'm weak, man. I'm so weak, man. And then the newest one that you had did, the Pokeball. I really loved it. I thought it was so unique because this is like, I've never seen anybody like do a Pokeball, whether like they did a full body Pokeball or like the Pokeball head. And I love how you have the face up there and whatnot. Now, is it a Pokeball, or is it what was the ball that exploded? Was it Voltorb?
From Oregon? No,
what was it? What was the hold on, go ahead.
There's a Voltorb in the other one, the little Voltorb.
I can't remember. It's not Electro Dude. No, who is Electro Dude? Is it Electro Dude?
Maybe.
Hold on, look. Let's take what did they do on the Eric Andre show? 10-second break. Is it Electro Dude? Hey, y'all that are watching this video, y'all let me know in the comments which Pokemon it is, because I'm looking. Oh, it is Electro Dude. Oh, I was right.
LOL.
Okay, it was Electro Dude. But yeah, those were the top 3 that I really love. But I wanted to piggyback off what you were saying about Wendell and Wild, and I know we had talked about this off of the interview. But yeah, man, it's like Tim Burton had said the stuff that he said, and we get this movie. You got Jordan Peele, Keegan-Michael Key in it, and I just don't understand like why this movie didn't blow up. Like, the animation is so good. It's on the same level as The Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline and James and the Giant Peach. The same creator like worked on this movie. So it's like, I just don't understand why Netflix didn't push the movie the way that it
promoted it so much better, and it really broke my heart. I want everything for this movie. Had it gotten the proper promotion, it probably could have won an Academy Award, or at least been nominated.
I 100% agree with you. I do hope that it gets a sequel, because the way that it ended, it looked like there was room for more, but it's like it took them 15 years to make this movie, so who knows? I mean,
and I love the fact that even though it's a kids movie, it's rated PG-13, which I think is good. We don't see a lot of movies, especially in animation, that are geared towards teens.
Yes.
It's either like Disney Junior or Adult Swim. There's like no in between.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like when I was hearing cussing in the movie, I was like, okay, all right. You know, and I'll say too, like I love that they have these animated projects that come out now where it's something for adults, kids, and teenagers to watch. Now, I mean, growing up, you had Toy Story and stuff like that, and it was cool to watch that stuff. But it's like I feel like these movies that are coming out now, they're geared more for, you know, the older crowd, even though kids can still enjoy them too. So
yeah, I was not expecting this movie to tackle the prison industrial system.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool, and the way they explained it, because it's a very complex topic, but they were able to break it down to make it very understandable in a 1 hour and 30-minute runtime movie. Like if I wanted to explain why private prisons are bad, I'd put on Wendell and Wild to just be like, watch this.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, moving along, I got to ask you, because you know I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We got the collab coming up and whatnot. I got to know, what part is your favorite part from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Part 4.
Part 4? That's what I'm talking about. Where's my Jotaro hat? It's in the room. Where's my Kira wig's over there, but I don't feel like being a villain right now. Okay, so part 4 is your favorite. Which JoJo is your favorite?
It'd be a tie between Josuke and Jotaro. I feel like, I don't know, the whole like 3, 4, and 5, Josuke, Jotaro, and Giorno, I'd say are tied for my favorite JoJo.
Okay. That's a nice little choice. And I think all 3 of them are really good. You know, I really love Jotaro, especially in part 4. I like part 4 of Jotaro because in part 3, he kind of seemed like he was one-dimensional, but in part 4, he was the Joseph of the group. He was intelligent. You know, it's like this man came in another JoJo's part and defeated the main villain. You know what I'm saying? And he really could have defeated Poochie too if you know, if he would have just took him out before he went up to heaven. But
I do have a soft spot for old Joseph in part 4.
You know, we interviewed Richard Epcar, and y'all can check out that interview. It is up here on the YouTube channel. And one of the things that he said about voicing old Joseph in part 4 was that he wasn't a fan of it because it's like he enjoyed voicing Joseph in part 3 because, you know, Joseph in part 3, he was still cool. But then Joseph in part 4, he just like, what did you say? You want this baby? And, you know, he said that he just wished that Joseph would have did more in part 4 or had more to do instead of just being a babysitter.
Okay, I have a very serious question.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight, old Joseph or Sugar Mama from the Proud Family?
Sugar Mama. And the only reason why I say Sugar Mama would win, because old Joseph, while he still is, you know, somewhat intelligent, he's a lot older now, man. I feel like, you know, if he got into a fight, like he wouldn't be able to survive probably, you know? Like he did have, like Okuyasu did save his life. So it's one of those things. I mean, I love old Joseph, but yeah, he's not old Joseph from part 3. Like part 3 Joseph was an idiot. But I mean, Joseph has always been an idiot, but part 3 Joseph was an idiot though. So, all right, I asked you who your favorite JoJo was. Who is your favorite villain?
Favorite villain? Does it have to be a main villain?
No, that's why I love asking this question. It can be whoever you want it to be.
It's a tie between Mariah from part 3 and Chocolata from part 5.
Okay. Yeah, those are nice choices. And why are those 2 your favorite?
Well, I like Mariah because I just thought the episode was really funny. I really like when JoJo, like the seasons of JoJo have like that break of humor in every season. Like we had Tonio's pizza pasta episode in part 4, and then we had this episode with Abdal and Joseph being stuck to each other. I just thought the episode was hilarious. She's such a fun stand user. I think she would be really fun to cosplay. And I thought it was really cool to see a darker skinned Egyptian woman, which is something we need to pride part 3 on. Hirohiko Araki has consistently portrayed Black people without drawing a single racist caricature. So when people turn around and tell me like, oh, they're from Japan. They don't know what Black people look like outside of these racist caricatures. I'm like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is old as dust. Araki is an old head, and not once have any of his Black characters look like a caricature. I just like Takalata because I think he's neat.
I mean, like going all the way back to Smokey. Like that was I think part 2 came out somewhere in the 80s. And I mean, I think part 3 came out in the 80s too, but yeah, I mean, like all of his people of color characters have never came off as racist characters. And I think it's because Araki did his research, unlike some of the other manga artists at the time, where it's just like they only knew that this is how characters look because it's like they watched Disney cartoons growing up and like this is how Disney characters look, like Black Disney characters, same thing like the Looney Tunes cartoons, like this is how like Black people were drawn in those cartoons. So it's just like, if this is what I saw in my childhood, this is how I think Black people look. But you got Araki just like, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm doing like
he
this.
also took a lot of American influence, especially with like the stan names.
Yeah.
And I love how JoJo has so much global influence in it.
Yeah, and you know, same thing too with Naruto and Bleach, like the creators of that, like I love that the Black people in those shows, they look like Black people. You know what I'm saying? And I do love that we have way more representation in anime and cartoons with, you know, people of color characters. So, you know, now this brings me to my final question that I have for you. Who is one of your favorite fictional characters, and whether it be anime, a cartoon, video game, TV show, movie, like who's one of your favorite fictional Black characters?
Favorite fictional Black character? Oh, that's a toughie.
I love asking this question because it's
like
people are just like, wow.
Dang, you got me good. You know what? I really think I'm going to have to say Kiawe from Pokemon Sword and Shield, because his family is Black and Indigenous, which you see a lot of like Afro-Latina representation. You don't see a lot of Afro-Indigenous representation. And in his storyline in the anime, he's very connected to his family, the traditionality, protecting his island and protecting his culture. And I found that really admirable. And I think just like the whole family structure is really cool. They have like this super nerdy blurred dad, and then the mom is a baddie, and they run a farm and they're fighting from this vacation company from taking over it. And I think it's really cool. When I first saw him, I'm like, that's not necessarily my experience. I'm not Afro-Indigenous. I don't like live in a place where tourism is directly taking land and things away from people of color, but I resonate with that, and I have friends that resonate with that. And I don't know, he was just always my favorite character in the Sun and Moon series, and I think he'll just forever be my favorite. Oh, and Jasmine from the Boondocks. Resident X girl here.
From the Boondocks. I mean, was it because of the painting that I have up there on the wall that it just like
it just popped in my head? I'm like, oh, Jasmine, I love her, queen.
Yeah, I love Jasmine too. I really love the episodes where she's either crying and she wants Huey to do something, or the Usher episode where
bro, that Usher episode, I cannot listen to an Usher song without thinking of Tom dancing
I know, right?
in front of a water fountain.
Oh my God, man. And then Riley, he was just like, I can understand if you let your girl get taken by Omarion, but Usher?
But Usher? I'm like, man, that's T.I.
I know. Oh my God, man. That's funny. And now we're here at the end of the interview, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. It was a fun time having you on.
Me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
You can find me at Madburnish.cos on both Instagram and TikTok, and Madburnish Baby, BBY, on Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Kayla. Y'all make sure that y'all go and follow her on all of her social media accounts. And then you already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank y'all again for watching this interview. Make sure y'all stay tuned for some more amazing interviews that I'm going to have up here. Make sure that you stay tuned for the interviews where we have with voice actors that are coming up here on the channel as well. And like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.